What's good, everybody? We are on game number 2 between Baltune and Corvinus. Corvinus, yep. And it's Corvinus and HRE on the north side, and Baltune, Mali in the south. Shocked that Mali is an available civ to be picked here, as it is typically banned by everybody, but Corvinus allows Baltune, the powerhouse civilization that everyone hates, to play against. Typical early opening coming in for Mali. It's really only differences you'll see at times is how many houses they'll build around this pit mine. If it's anything more than 6, it's greedy. 6 is kind of the standard. 4, I would say, is a little conservative. And as we see here, Baltune went with the little bit more conservative one. A little bit quicker age up timing that this allows, though, just because you're less on gold and more on food earlier on. Grabbing up a decent amount of sheep for himself, and look at the other side. Corvinus going for the early deer opening as the HRE against Mali. You must be mad. One thing I will say, though, is the way this does make sense is this allows him to skyrocket his food income now and allow him to save these sheep under his town center. Allows him to be a little bit more aggressive on scouting, potentially, even though he has 1 sheep only. I was going to say it allows him to save a lot of the sheep that he has under his town center, but he doesn't really have that many left, or there even in general. So even better he went for this deer opening, or else he would have been screwed. So not looking great for the opening from the good old HRE. It's nice having these deer, but long term, he's going to be pushed off of those pretty quickly once feudal age happens, and it's going to be a quick feudal age happening. Najee. Okay, bud. What? All right, my eyes are not deceiving myself. It is a Meinwerk palace coming out from Szalami. At first, I thought he misclicked it, but he's building Meinwerk. Maybe it's for this riveted chain to deal with the warrior scouts a little bit more efficiently, but in reality, this is it going to be HRE archers? Because I feel like it could be Meinwerk HRE archers. We'll see. We'll see. Only time will tell. You don't know what to start even talking about because you never even see it. But we're seeing it now, and no other than Corvinus than the one doing it. Second prelate has come out to make up for the lack of chapel, so do need this extra inspiration to really boost up these villagers. And there's the Mansequari already finished, the stables being fast built, and Scout is already on the side of Corvinus, going to be able to immediately start harassing that gold. If he desires, that is. Upgrade coming through, 10 more seconds until it's finished on up. It's barracks as the first one, so most likely going to be that riveted chain would be my guess. Might want to get marching drills first to try to close the gap on the scouts. You really need 4 spears to do something. And oh, free sheep. Woo! Free sheep! Let's ride. Good focus on the prelate to start out here. Corvinus really needs to be careful with his prelate, making sure this doesn't go down or take too much damage. Going for the surround on the warrior scout, not quite able to do so. And more warrior scouts are going to be coming in rotation. Not only that, moving out to build his secondary pit mine, give himself even more gold income, which can either prove to turn into professional scouts or turn into be cattle on the other end. The first spear is out, but again, we talked about this. It doesn't really matter. You just tank the first one, you tank up some shots, you don't really care much about it. Pushing that last deer in, so just not only getting some vision, getting some scouting done, but getting some more efficient food for the time being, as he still has it secured. There's still only one spear here, pulls back the low health one again. Prelates have been swapped on out, I believe, and the single spear is just tanking up these scouts as it gets healed by the prelate. But which one does more damage? The second spear's out. And he closes the gap, kills the spear, but loses the scout in return. Third scout's on the way, so still back to 3 scouts yet again. It's 3 prelates now for Corvinus, so is going to be able to just keep inspiring all his economy. Great job keeping track of all those currently. Again, focusing in on this spear, pulls back the low health scout. Second spear comes out, so might not just be able to focus this location as great anymore, but there's a lot of other locations, and spears might not be able to jump out of these other locations if you get over there in time. It is the riveted chain mail as the first upgrade, so that specialized upgrade for all those spears. And oh no, the warrior scouts arrive. It's a perfect time. There is a prelate here. The outpost is about to finish. No reaction yet from Corvinus. Just hoping that the prelate will out heal the scouts, which they do for the time being, but he is getting a lot of idle time caused. He's down 1 villager. No kills have come through yet, but just guess there are 2 villagers. I guess there was just a little bit of extra idle time. And can't forget about all this passive gold coming in from these pit mines. Additional buildings being dropped. It's going to be a 1-1-1 coming out for Corvinus. Our javelin throwers and stables being dropped, barracks being dropped, so 1-1-1 for Baltune as well. Just playing this extended game for the time being, trying to find somewhere he can damage, but this time there's a couple spears positioned on gold, couple spears, 1 single spear next to the other production, next to that mill on the initial deer that he started out on. And looks like we're going to see the circle around for the woodline. Remember, these scouts can tank up so much town center fire that really going to be able to do this, going to be able to get a good amount of damage down on these villagers. But will we see the first one go down? Ooh, first one go down, another scout goes down, and just idle time that these scouts were able to cause in the meantime. Another barracks being dropped for Baltune. He's got double range, double barracks, and the stables. Spearmen are starting to move out across the map. Perfect timing for Baltune to be able to find just 2 spears as a free pick with these 5 warrior scouts. That's exactly what he's going to do here. So just make sure to try to thin out the army of Corvinus as best as possible. You can see he does a little bit of damage, and then he's able to pick out an archer as well. Isn't able to kill either of those spears, but does get the archer instead. And a couple spears circling for Corvinus. Going to try to hit that gold vein or maybe some deer. Marching drills coming into effect soon, as that will speed up all those infantry units of Corvinus. Spears dive the gold mine, no damage coming down. Main fight in the middle. Scouts stepped a little bit too far forward. They were grouped up with that Donzo, couldn't run back as fast or efficient. And the horsemen on top of those javelin throwers, very, very costly units to end up lose this early. Donzo not there to help protect them either, and the other one getting chased on down. Not a great fight here from Baltune. He is lacking heavily in this military game, and Meinwerk giving Corvinus some extra upgrades. Is this just the strat that no one was expecting, no one was ready for over here? Deer have run out. Villagers might just be moving over to the boar as the next bit of food source. Does look like the army of Baltune starting to move forward a little bit farther. Scouts do spot out the villagers. Might just spot out this boar pull and take, and we'll know another spot to focus out here with his next push if he prefers. Couple of spears still being a pain in the ass over here, and Baltune pushing them back before Vills go down, but just a little bit of idle time. I just feel like I keep saying that on either side. No Vill kills yet, just idle time, idle time, idle time. You can see how good these players are at or just reacting, seeing their opponent come into vision, immediately pulling back the Vills as need be. Another scout does fall. Spear's just able to run away, though, due to those marching drills. Proactive walls coming in for Baltune to secure up that western side, allows him just to full focus on the east. Military numbers, though, starting to get a little bit closer to even. 1150 gold in the bank right now for Corvinus. Really needs to pull off of the gold, get over to another resource. He's got berries behind his base. Imagine if 800 of that gold or 700 of that gold was over on food. He'd basically be castle age. Main fight starting to go down. Baltune kiting back some of these units. Donzo is the mass choice from Baltune, but there's archers on the other side, and it's not just a few archers. Corvinus has 17 archers to counteract that massive Donzo just so perfectly. Horseman, though, stepping forward. Donzo able to take a pretty decent fight. Jav stepping up too, and the front line for Corvinus all of a sudden starting to disappear just a little bit. Might have just overstepped, losing a few more units as he is running on out and away. And now military numbers are even. Corvinus forced off of the board. That was his main bit of food eco. He dropped a market. He had to have dropped a market. Traded away the food. What did he spend this food on? Oh, there's the market. Or trade away the gold. So trade away all that extra gold he had, probably bought up a bunch of food, continue this production, but now this main military mass is on his base, denying the gold he just traded away. Production build is trying to be dropped. He knows that he needs more nodes. He needs to get these units out as fast as possible, but the javelin number quite heavy and massed up now. Expensive unit, high quality unit, able to not only take out their counters or the unit they counter, which is those anything ranged, but also highly effective base damage, can do some decent shots into those horsemen. Warrior Scout still circling around, spots out those villagers on the back berries now, knows that Corvinus is hurting off of food, having pulled off of the boar now. There's no other food he's been gathering. He's been all on that gold. He was, I guess, trading for food earlier on. Javs again step up to the gold, idling out all of those villagers on gold. Main clash about to go down again. Javs getting a good little throw in. Donzo's getting their spears throws in as well. And perfect fight here for Baltune as he is sniping out a lot of these units. He has those Donzos on the front line to deal with the horsemen, push the horsemen away. And the javelin throwers, just such a good unit overall, such an effective unit overall. Donzo decent positioning. Horseman, though, able to get a good surround on those high quality javelin throwers. A lot of damage coming down. Baltune might need to kite those back a little bit further as the horsemen thin those out and press them pretty heavily. More reinforcing units coming out on either side. That fight basically ended up dead even, with both players having their ranged mass still alive for the most part. Corvinus a little bit ahead, starting to push Baltune back away, has a few more horsemen helping out, and he needs those horsemen desperately, as it's mainly those javelins on the front line for Baltune. Behind this though, Baltune has so much passive gold coming in. You can't forget about all of that free gold from the pit mines. Not only that, he's on the gold as well. And the good thing for him is he can change that gold, not trade it, but change it into these cows and just keep massing cows out of multiple mills, which you see him doing now, which will skyrocket his food income, allow him food for the long haul, which is what Corvinus is starting to struggle on, doing the farm transition, but no chapel to transition under to. So food eco is not the typical powerhouse HRE food eco. It's just this weak little puny HRE food eco. You only have regular inspiration. You don't have that chapel inspiration with constant all of your villagers being inspired, as there are 15 vills here. Oh, and 2 prelates, so all of them are going to be inspired. I'm wrong. I only saw 1 at first, but solid job there, but still a cost, as you have to spend your money on all those prelates, which is also TC idle time. Production starting to be camped. Production just being sat on Donzo, starting to burn down the archery range. And I'm not sure if this is in emergency repair influence, as it's not popping up on my screen now, and it is not an influence. So first range gets taken down, and there's only 3 production buildings now behind this. A small little horseman raid coming in. Good thing for Baltune. Couple Donzo already here as they were popping out of the barracks. Couple javelin throwers as well. So deter those horsemen on away after 1 villager pick. But at this point, house being burnt. So Corvinus about to be housed, as well as having the next archery range burnt down after that. Another barracks being dropped. Corvinus going to need to continue to mass up more production buildings, and a warrior scout behind this. No reaction yet. This is not a scout. It's a warrior scout. You already saw a prelate down. That's the main food eco now not being inspired anymore. Main fight starting to go down. Donzos and Javs stepping on up, but the horsemen just back and forth, back and forth. As long as the Donzos can keep the horsemen backing away, the Javs get to take a hugely efficient fight in the middle, as long as they're not overkilling the archers too heavily. Numbers for Corvinus starting to fall pretty heavily. The Jav's still alive, very healthy. Not too many archers left, not too many horsemen left, and all the time behind this, he is losing vills on that mill we were just showing a little bit ago. Corvinus's army numbers down to single digits. Baltune is still up at 30. Villagers, they run out of the berries, and that's when he finally realizes that there's a warrior scout on top of those vills. Baltune dropping rams, as well as going to be able to drop Castle Age behind this. Needs another 30 gold into the bank. He's burning down more of these production buildings. Meinwerk Palace will be at risk as well. There's no more steel barding in Castle Age if you get there, and that's the big thing. It's a big if you get there. That warrior scout still just causing a pain in Corvinus' side, being annoying as possible. Ram now starting to take down the Barbican. Next gold will be focused. Corvinus still just buying food with all this gold that he's gathering. Struggling more and more for this food. Now it's not just Warrior Scouts. It's not just Donzo and Javs. There's Sofa in the mix because Baltune can afford it, and he afforded Castle behind as we were talking. And Corvinus, he knows it's over. He throws in the towel and just calls GG.